Popcorn and Candy.
Hey guys, and welcome to a special episode of Popcorn and Candy. Ran into a few issues with editing this week's episode for the movie. So what I wanted to do was just take a minute to share with you something special that I found. So back in 03, I started collecting my movie stubs just as something to do on the side. And I recently found my old collection. And as I flipped through the first few, I was just getting so excited that I wanted to kind of record it and share my reactions with you guys and just share that with you just to let you guys get to know me a little bit better. Alright guys, so as I just said, this is me going through some of the ticket stubs that I've collected over the years. It's not a full collection of all the movies I've done, but it's definitely something that when I saw, I really just wanted to share with you guys, give you a little more insight into who I am and how much I really do love movies, and just kind of give you a little history on some of the stuff that have come out. So the first one that I have here is going to be from Daredevil. This was the first ticket stub that I saved. It was a huge movie just because it was one of the first superhero movies I remember seeing in theaters. And as you can see, it goes all the way back to February of 03. So this is back quite a ways, but still just a great movie. Going after that, then we're going to have X-Men 2, which another great superhero movie. You're going to have Matrix Reloaded. One of those movies that I just hated at first, the ending, just because it left you on a cliffhanger, making you have to watch the sequel. But mind you, at the time, I was just super excited to see more action. LXG, which is League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Loved that movie as a kid. A little bit older now, I like it a little bit less. But Sean Connery, who's one of my favorite actors, definitely a fantastic person in that. Speaking of sequels, there's Matrix Revolutions. I mean, this was just huge at the time. You're looking at one of the movies that just had come to finish off a trilogy. And yeah, was it the best? No. Was it a good movie overall with special effects and fights? Absolutely. Speaking of trilogies, then you have Lord of the Rings 3, another great one. This one especially, I remember going nuts with my friends in school for. You Got Served. I'll remember this one as a weird way, was one of those movies that just before the finale, it was maybe I'd say 15-20 minutes before, because I've seen the movie a bunch since then. The movie actually like glitched out in the middle of our screening, so we couldn't finish the movie, which really sucked. So it's right at like this big emotional part, and then boom, screen just killed, and they're just like, oh, if you guys want to come back, if you want to wait, we can restart the movie. So we just left, and I didn't get to see what happened until my dad decided to rent it, a few months down the line. Shrek 2, honestly, I like it better than Shrek 1, but definitely one of those movies I'm glad I saw in theaters. Day After Tomorrow, really great movie about the end of the world. Kind of nice concept with the whole world freezing over. White Chicks, just one of those classic comedies. Gotta love that movie. Spider-Man 2, definitely the best out of the trilogy for Sam Raimi. And Tobey Maguire, if he's honestly going to be in the new Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, I can't wait to see that. Bourne Supremacy, I actually remember seeing this movie when I was on vacation with my family in Outer Banks. I mean, that's how much I love movies. I'll even see them when I'm on vacation instead of doing something else. I do remember getting a lot of motion sickness from this movie, though, so there's that. Alien vs. Predator. Biggest downfall? There's not a lot of Alien vs. Predator action in this movie, so it kind of like defeats the purpose of the title. Hero with Jet Li. Man, this movie was just all the kung fu action you wanted, and at the same time, the shots and the way it looked, really great movie. Resident Evil 2, definitely did not, at least for me, disappoint. I know for a lot of the fans of the video games, it definitely wasn't what they were hoping for. But as someone who just was watching the movies and had never played the games, I enjoyed it. The SpongeBob movie. I mean, SpongeBob. I grew up with this guy. So to see this movie in theaters, honestly awesome. Meet the Parents, I'm going to say. I know it's a little faded. Definitely a good follow-up to Meet... oh, no, that's Meet the Fockers, not Meet the Parents. Meet the Fockers was definitely funny. Not as good as Meet the Parents, but definitely had its moments. I think I saw it twice, or that's a ticket to when I watched it with somebody else. Coach Carter, Sam Jackson. I mean, come on. Any movie where you have Sam Jackson yelling, it's going to be awesome. It is based on a true story, which is good, so definitely a movie worth watching. Hitch. Oh my gosh. I remember I hated this movie when I first saw it in theaters. I just didn't like the whole concept of a superhero who was just kind of an ass. But at the end of it, after I rewatched it at home a few months down the line, I actually really appreciated that it wasn't so much about meeting the traditional superhero, stereotypes, and that Will Smith really did capture a really unique character in it. The movie Robots, Robin Williams, Ewan McGregor, two great actors doing their best with voice acting, and a whole lot more in there, like Amanda Bynes, Drew Carey. Just a really great kids movie, and honestly one that even as an adult I still watch, even with my own kids now. Triple X State of the Union. I don't remember anything about this movie. That's how much I liked it. This one is Star Wars. Now this one, looking at the date, I honestly couldn't tell you which one it is. So unfortunately, I can't say more than that, but I'm doing this again. Just wanted to give you my live reaction looking through these because there's just so many great memories. Batman Begins. Honestly, my favorite Batman. I know there's a whole lot of love for the other ones out there, but come on. You just gotta love Christian Bale's Batman. It's just fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, Fantastic Four. Jessica Alba, I had a huge crush on her at the time, so who didn't want to see her? And at the time, superhero movies were still kind of building up. We didn't have anything close to the MCU. And overall, it was a decent movie. Next up, Transporter 2. Jason Statham kicking ass and driving a car all over the city, causing chaos. It was just such a great movie. It's still one of my favorites. Serenity, don't remember anything about it. I do know that it was a movie that was supposed to be like a sequel to a TV show that got canceled after one season. I saw it because the trailer seemed interesting, but that's all I remember about the movie. Aeon Flux, same thing. Honestly, Aeon Flux might actually be the movie that's a sequel to that TV show Firefly. So either way, I saw both those movies around the same time and do not remember anything about them. Next up, I have Narnia. I had to look at that because the sub's a little weird. That's going to be the first one, and man, oh man, Liam Neeson as the voice of Aslan. Just a great movie. Honestly, they did such justice to a fantastic story that I grew up reading. King Kong, Percy Jackson. Man, this movie was long, and that's coming from the guy who has seen all the Lord of the Rings extended versions. It took a really long time to finally see King Kong and get the action going. But you know what? I didn't hate this movie. It definitely was a good one. Ice Age 2. Not a huge Ice Age fan, but this was definitely a good one. I still prefer the first one over it, but still not a bad movie. Take the Lead. Antonio Banderas in this movie teaching kids how to dance. Not the most interesting premise, but overall the music was really good. I remember seeing this one with my brother, my mom, and we had a good time. And honestly, that's the point of the movie. So, regardless of how good the movie is, just getting to enjoy it with people is what matters the most. Da Vinci Code. I love this book. It caused so much controversy in school, so to see it in theaters, oh man, so good. As good as the book? No. But definitely with Tom Hanks in the lead, definitely a great movie. X-Men 3. The worst X-Men movie, and that's going above the last Phoenix one that came out with the newer cast, and even against New Mutants. I just hated this movie. Even as a kid, I thought it made no sense. I thought they did a terrible injustice, and how dare you kill off Patrick Stewart, you animals. Happy Feet. I hated this movie. I know it's supposed to be a kid's movie. I didn't get it. I didn't get really into it. The music, the concept, it just did not grab me. I remember honestly almost falling asleep when I saw this movie. And that, if that's the only thing I remember from the movie, that's how bad it was. And then Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith, again. This man is super talented, and this movie definitely brought me to tears at least twice because it's just that much of an emotional movie. And the fact that it's based on a real story, wow. All right, that's all the ticket stubs I have on that pile. The other pile is when I started going to the rave movie theater. So we're going to start off with those next. First one I saw at this theater was Rocky Balboa. Now, I'm ashamed to admit, but I am rectifying it. This was the first Rocky movie I had seen, and even still, holy crap, this movie was so good. I loved it. I couldn't believe that I had missed out on it. And yeah, I know the ticket stub says 06, so what the heck have I been doing for the last 15 years that I haven't seen it? I'm trying to catch up, guys, so don't hate me for it. Norbit, you know what? Eddie Murphy, great actor. This movie was one of those good, stupid, funny ones that it was worth seeing. In fact, as you can see here, I ended up seeing it a second time with some more friends, so I liked it that much. Next up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember this one, the animated one. Saw it with a bunch of my guy friends. It was just that perfect guys' night out movie. We had a blast. It was fun. It was exciting seeing all the references. It was just really awesome. This one here, Spider-Man 3. Huge disappointment. I mean, they wasted Venom. I really feel like they could have built up more. Now I know all the movie theories that are out there and all the stuff that's come out where Sam Raimi has said that he wanted to do a fourth one and he was forced to put in Venom for this one. But overall, I will say that it wasn't the worst Spider-Man ever. Looking at you, Amazing Spider-Man 2. but it definitely could have been better than that. Speaking of terrible trilogy, Shrek 3, I do not remember this movie that well at all. The only one I remembered less out of the Shrek line is going to be Shrek Forever After, which I don't think I've even finished the opening to. So, again, good trilogies out there, bad trilogies out there. First two Shreks are still kick-ass. Next up, you have Pirates. I'm not sure which Pirates of the Caribbean movie that is, but it's definitely... I love all the Pirates movies except for the fourth one. That one I've always just fallen asleep on no matter what I do. Next up, you have Surf's Up. I mean, surfing penguins, like literally surfing, not like, you know, the way they do like in real life. Thought it was great. Soundtrack was awesome. And Shia LaBeouf in it. I think he's a great actor, so he was awesome. Fantastic Four 2, the Silver Surfer one. Another one where, again, we didn't have the MCU yet. So this was a decent attempt, but Galactus sucked. I mean, a giant smoking cloud that had the appearance of Galactus in terms of how the cloud looked, that just looked stupid. Silver Surfer, not that great. But you know what? At the time, I still had a crush on Jessica Alba. So to see her again, not going to complain. Ratatouille. This is honestly one of those, for me, more underrated Pixar movies compared to some of the others that get you more on the emotional gut. But really, it's one of the highest ranked Pixar movies on IMDb. And it's one of the top ranked ones in my personal opinion. Love the story, love the idea. And overall, I just love the idea of anybody can cook. You know, the whole like premise that you can be anything you want if you push yourself to it. First Transformers movie. I grew up loving the Transformers. I watched the cartoon, I watched the animated movie, I had the toys, Beast Wars, all that stuff. So to see this, again with Shia LaBeouf, I was hyped. And this movie rocked. Next up, License to Wed. Robin Williams, one of my favorite actors, may he rest in peace. I love this man. He's so hilarious. In this movie with Mandy Moore, he kicked butt. Reservations. This one, if I'm remembering right, was with Catherine Zeta-Jones. Not the best movie ever, but you know what? Catherine Zeta-Jones is a great actress. Sorry about that. And to see her just, you know, expanding, doing something that, at least for me, was a little different because I hadn't seen too much of her other work, I really enjoyed it. Rush Hour 3. Worst of the Rush Hour trilogy. I'm sorry, these trilogy movies just seem to be killing it. But you know what? It had its lines and its moments here and there where it was worthwhile. But Rush Hour 1 and Rush Hour 2, I really can't pick a favorite between those two. They're both so awesome. So we're just going to go with that. This one, I'm trying to read it here. It says, I'm guessing it's one of the Tyler Perry movies. Why Did I Get Married? Honestly, I'm not a huge Tyler Perry fan these days. I used to watch him a lot with my mom's. Just because she enjoyed those movies. I think that's all three stubs for it. Maybe it was me, my mom, and a friend or something. But there's that. I Am Legend. Again with Will Smith. I'm sorry some of these are a little more faded than others. They might have been in a separate pile or got rubbed up in my pocket. I love the book I Am Legend. Honestly, I think it's far superior to the movie just because the way the vampire zombie monsters are represented in the book is way different. But Will Smith, especially as a one-man show for most of the movie, is amazing. Just wow. So if you're looking for a good one-off with Will Smith, this is definitely a movie to watch. Just another follow-up with there. National. I'm guessing that's National Treasure, not the second one. Nick Cage, great actor, kind of fallen off the wagon in my opinion a little bit in recent years. But for this one, kind of presented history in an interesting way while giving us just some of that, conspiracy theory that everyone likes a little bit of here and there. And overall, it was a really good movie. Cloverfield. I love this movie. I love the whole, first-person view with the camera, the monster that you don't really see till the end. If I had a complaint, it would be that I didn't like the way the monster looked at the end. I thought it looked kind of like, well, we want this to look like nothing anyone else has seen, and that's for sure, but that's kind of where it ended. Bucket list. I mean, you have Jack Nicholson and you have Morgan Freeman living out their last days, doing whatever the heck they want because Jack Nicholson is that rich. And the lessons they learned, the story that's told, really great movie. Jumper, a lot better than a lot of people give it credit for. Jumper is one of those movies that I remember seeing in theaters and being really excited for a sequel. As you can see, this movie came out, just double checking the stump here, 2008. So it's been 13 years. We're not getting a sequel to this movie. But overall, it was a lot better than I thought. And another one with Sam Jackson in it. So you can see Meet the Browns, another Tyler Perry movie. Not the worst one, but I just get tired of the, let's make something as extreme and over the top, taking stereotypes and just blowing it out of proportion. It gets old after a while. Never Back Down. I still love this movie. It's one of those movies that just gets you pumped and excited, and it always makes me, at the end of the movie, makes me think, man, maybe I should start working out. Because you have, this kid who has a lot of anger problems, starts training with this mixed martial arts guy to kind of, defend himself. And Jimon Hansu's in it, and this guy is ripped. And his character in this movie is awesome, really good. Definitely a good movie you should watch. Prom Night. One of those kind of one-off horror movies, if I'm not mistaken in recalling. It's actually a remake of one that came out like in the 70s or 80s. Is it the best horror movie? No. Is it worth a watch? Absolutely. Forbidden. I think that's Forbidden Kingdom, which was another like martial arts movie similar to Hero. Another movie that I really enjoyed. Just wow. Just the martial arts of it. The story. I couldn't recall it too well right now off the top of my head, but it definitely was a good movie. Definitely worth the watch. Here it is, the start of what matters, the first MCU movie, Iron Man. I went nuts in theaters. I screamed, I cheered, and I was one of those few people that like got up and like cheered when Robert Downey Jr. says at the end of the movie, I am Iron Man. If I have any regrets, it's that, like almost everybody else, I didn't stay till the end of the credits to see the first end credits scene where Sam Jackson comes in as Nick Fury. Man, that would have been so hype. But I did see it when I saw the movie on DVD. So I didn't miss it too long, but it was one of those things where I didn't realize what they were doing just yet. So there's that. Speed Racer with the Wachowski brothers. The Wachowski brothers were the ones who did the Matrix trilogy. Speed Racer is one of those movies that's become a cult classic. I love the visuals. Overall, I like the story. Is a little bit wonky and chaotic? Yeah. Is it worth a watch? Absolutely. Another Speed Racer one there. Hey, guess what? I saw Iron Man a second time. That's how much I liked it. Kung Fu Panda. I mean, Jack Black as a fat panda learning Kung Fu. What's not to like about that? Hulk with... Is it not Guy Pearce? I can't think of his name. Edward Norton. That's his name. I don't know why I got Guy Pearce in there. Edward Norton. Obviously not the Hulk that everybody remembers after going into Avengers with Mark Ruffalo. But honestly, not a bad movie. And one of those cameos was Stan Lee that I definitely always chuckle at when I see him drinking the soda in my head. WALL-E. Love this movie. The visuals, the music, the story. Awesome Pixar movie. There's another WALL-E one there. Hancock, again, I'm not sure if that got mixed up with the others or if it was like a, matinee or something that I saw in theaters. Guess what? Dark Knight. Man, Heath Ledger's Joker. Need I say more? That man, that presentation, I can't. I was one of the best that I've ever seen. This one says Welcome Home. I think that's Welcome Home, Roscoe Jones or Roscoe Jenkins. I think that's a Martin Lawrence movie. I don't remember it too well, so I can't really say go watch it. But if I remember, maybe I'll make a comment in the... I'll put in the comments as to what that is. Guess what? Dark Knight again. Just that great of a movie. The Mummy, I'm not sure which one. I think that's the third one, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor or something like that with Jet Li. Once again, guess what, guys? Third movie on this trilogy. Just not that great. But the first two, definitely a huge fan of. Quantum of Solace. This guy coming in to be a new James Bond. I can't think of the actor's name off the top of my head. Just overall great movie. And that torture scene, man, I'll tell you what. I know so many guys who are cringing during that. If you know, you know. Transporter 3, guys, once again, the weakest in the trilogy. However, I will say that Jason Statham still kills this role. 7 pounds, Will Smith. This man always, and 90% of his movies, kills me. I love the actor that he's become. I saw this guy when he first started out with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the 90s and as a rapper, as the Fresh Prince. But to see the actor he became, especially in this one, how it ended, man, such a great movie. Paul Blart, love this movie. Just one of those stupid, funny ones with Kevin James. I remember seeing it in theaters with friends, and all we did was laugh our heads off from start to end. Taken, Liam Neeson kicking butt, showing people how things are done. Don't mess with his daughter. This guy's Aslan. This guy's Qui-Gon Jinn, the Star Wars series. This guy is the father who will take names after he's taken your life. Definitely got to watch that movie. Push, another one of those movies similar to that movie Jumper that was earlier in this, that I was excited for maybe a sequel or to see where else it was going to go. But overall, not the best kind of like teen superhero type movie. This one just says Tyler Perry, so I have no idea which one that is. The movie Knowing, Nick Cage again. this movie was one that had so much promise. The ending really kind of felt like they put themselves in a corner where they didn't know what to do, but the visuals were awesome. So awesome, in fact, that, hey, I saw it twice. Wolverine, I'm guessing that's Wolverine Origins. I didn't hate this movie as much as some people did. I did hate the Deadpool portrayal, so don't get me wrong there. Harry Gregson Williams for the soundtrack, though, fantastic. There's another stub for that. Transformers, I'm going to guess that these are for the second one, Revenge of the Fallen. Still a good movie. Did I like the whole idea of Shia LaBeouf being the one to get the Matrix? Not really. I really thought the Matrix looked stupid too. But overall, not a bad movie. Another Tyler Perry. I can do bad all by myself. I know at the time, like I said, I'm not a huge Tyler Perry fan, but my wife now and mom were both huge fans of it. So at the time, I would watch a lot of these with them just because I love going to the movies. Any chance to gorge myself on popcorn and soda, why not? G.I. Joe. Yes, I grew up watching this alongside Transformers, and the movie was absolutely worth it. Toy Story 3D. Now, just make sure you read that right, 3D. This was a special screening that this movie theater did where they showed the first two Toy Story movies back to back with like a 15-minute interlude in 3D to get you ready for Toy Story 3, and it was awesome. Oh my god, I just thinking about it now, it was such a great time. 2012, I remember all the hype about this movie, all the jokes where when I grow up, I'm going to show my kids this movie and tell them I survived that. Honestly, the visuals were really good, the story was pretty awesome, and I'm glad overall with how they did that movie. Planet 51, I remember taking a few little buddies of mine at the time to see this movie, and it was just fun. It was a bunch of little kids from my religious group that we were just hanging out, and I mean, all of them had their own popcorns, their own sodas, and we were just laughing, enjoying this movie. It was a great time. And little sidebar on that, one of the things I always remember is that it was kind of it was December, as you can see. It was a warmer start to the day, but when we left the theater, it was snowing. So we had the only snowball fight as we're getting to the car. So just those memories that come when you think of the movies, and that's kind of why I always kept these stubs. It's just to remember the movies, the moments that came with the movies. It's just what's great about it. Alice in Wonderland. This one I specifically remember seeing with my now wife. Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter, just amazing. I think he's a great actor. All the stuff going on with him aside, I think that Johnny Depp is definitely worthy of all the praise and accolades he's received over the years. Iron Man 2, the weakest out of the trilogy, sure. But honestly, I just loved how they switched Terrence Howard over to give us the new Rhodey, and I just loved the movie overall. Karate Kid with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. I love Jackie Chan. All the movies he did like in the 90s that were dubbed in English over the years, like Rumble in the Bronx. He was also in the Rush Hour movies. He's great. Jaden Smith wasn't terrible in this, and Taraji P. Henson as the mom was also really good. Just a really good movie. Grown Ups, Adam Sandler having a good time with his buddies. Although I do prefer Grown Ups 2 a little more to the first Grown Ups. This is just one of those movies you're always going to enjoy. Just a few more stubs for that. This is Toy Story 3D. I don't know if this got mixed up or if this is seeing Toy Story 3 in 3D. So let's just say it's for Toy Story 3. Loved it. Brought me to tears. Oh my God, Pixar, you are maniacs. You know how to get into people's heads. And that is exactly what you did with this movie. And I don't hate you for it, but I do hate you for it. Salt. Evelyn Salt. Angelina Jolie kicks ass in this movie, which a lot of times when she's in a role like this is exactly what she does. I remember seeing this with a huge group of friends, and wow, it was just such a great time, such a good movie. And one of those movies where, although they set up for it to have a sequel, I don't hate that they haven't made one just because it was such a good movie on its own. There's another stub for Salt. I don't know if that's the same one. Oh no, it's for like the next day, so I guess I loved it that much. Cool. Salt, Salt, Salt. Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. This one's again with Shia LaBeouf. Again, great actor. Love the stuff that he's done. Not as good as the original, but I will love this. Fun fact with this movie is that it took place like 25 years after the original was filmed, and the main character in the original Wall Street movie was sentenced to a 25-year sentence in prison. So there's that literal passage of time to connect the two movies, and Michael Douglas does make an appearance in this movie. So wow, you can see that there was definitely some good thought put into this movie. Can't hate it at all. Tangled. I remember seeing this with my one cousin. I was really surprised because I'm like, Tangled? What's that? I didn't know it was about Rapunzel. Really good. Really, really good movie. Disney definitely did it justice, and overall, I enjoyed it. The Tourist. I saw this one with my now wife. Johnny Depp again, Angelina Jolie again. One of them's playing just this innocent dude who gets caught up in this whole situation. Angelina is the former lover of a criminal, and they're trying to get her to reveal where her lover's at. Really good kind of cat and mouse, you know, I guess not really thriller, but suspense is definitely in there. And man, both Angelina and Johnny Depp, their outfits, whoever did their costumes for this movie deserves praise, because man, I could not take my eyes off of either one of them the whole movie. I Am Number 4. This one I know was supposed to have a couple sequels, kind of a Superman-esque type movie, but I don't remember anything else besides that. Sucker Punch. This was one that just the visuals on the trailer got my interest. Overall, not my favorite movie, but definitely a decent story and a really good soundtrack. I will say that. Tyler Perry's Medea. Again, another Tyler Perry movie. Couldn't tell you which one that is. Overall, I mean, again, not the worst movies in the world, but it does get kind of just exhausting, the whole stereotypes being, you know, milked for everything they're worth. Fast 5. I don't remember it. I like the first Fast and the 5. I like the second Fast and the 5, and that's where my love for them kind of ends. Fast 5, I don't remember that much, other than I think there was a big thing with a safe driving through the city. Sorry to all the Fast fans out there, but that's just what I remember. Rio, I wasn't a huge fan. I get the concept, I get the idea. The whole fact that the bird couldn't fly I thought was kind of stupid, but then again, my mom had pet birds when I was a kid, and they couldn't fly themselves that well, so I guess it kind of made sense. But overall, could have been better. My biggest pet peeve with this movie is that it did ruin a Pixar movie, which was going to have a very similar concept. So, screw you, Rio, for messing with Pixar. X-Men First Class. Yes, I love this movie. Recasting it, setting it back to when they first started off, and Sebastian Shaw as a bad guy. Man, of all the bad guys they could have picked, definitely a great choice. And they did such a good job. And James McAvoy, who's a freaking chameleon, that guy just killed that role as Professor X. Don't remember the name of the actor who played Magneto off the top of my head, but he also did a great job. The whole cast overall was just fantastic. And Kevin Bacon as Sebastian Shaw was good. Rave Classic. This was actually one I went with my brother. This was something they did where on Tuesdays or Wednesdays they had a $5 matinee, where you would go in the early afternoon and watch a classic movie. This movie was Charade with Audrey Hepburn, if I'm not mistaken. Classic movie, great movie, and just wow. It was just something that my brother and I were bored to say, hey, you want to see this movie? And he was like, yeah, sure, why not? And we actually both really enjoyed it. So it was nice just to kind of go and see a movie we never thought we'd see and enjoy it, which is kind of the reason for my channel. 2D transfer. I'm not even sure what that is. I don't know if that's the second Transformers, which I thought I already had on there. So let's just say it's the second Transformers, which I already commented on. Planet of the Apes. I think that's the second one there. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Really great movie. All three of those movies was fantastic. 3D Lion King. I remember going to see this movie when I went out on when I was still dating my wife. We went with a few friends. Well, they ended up actually going because it was a weekend only that they did it. And I just remember the wife looking at me as one of my buddies and I were literally quoting and singing basically the entire movie. But hey, it's Lion King. I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it, what are you doing? For those who have seen it, you get it. You know exactly where I'm coming from. Little Fockers. I remember seeing that one in Virginia. I thought it was stupid, so I didn't like it. And then this looks like it's just another Transformers once that got lost in the mix, because that's 2007 versus this one that's 2011. So that's all my stubs, guys. Again, just wanted to really share this with you, show you just some of the memories that I had with movies, and just give you a chance to get to know me a little bit better. So there's that, guys. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. I just wanted to say a quick thanks to everyone who's been supporting me and watching these videos. It's a new venture for me, obviously, just something I'm doing to see where it goes. And I really appreciate anyone who's taken the time to watch even one of my videos. At the bottom, comment, tell me what your favorite movie is, what your favorite movie theater experience is, or just, tell me the next movie you plan on seeing in theaters. I know with all this COVID restrictions right now, a lot of people haven't been to the movies in years. I'm one of them, so let me know. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys, and I will see you on the next one.